We're with George Samis, who just came out of the NDP opening office ceremony for Mario Leclerc, the candidate for SD and SG. Mr. Samis, you spoke a lot about a vote for Guy Lauzon, the current MP for the Conservatives and head of caucus, being a vote for Stephen Harper.
Right.
Can you clarify that or define that a little bit?
Well, I think people have to understand a vote for Guy Lauzon is a vote for the national leader and the national party headed by Stephen Harper. And that's why I brought it up, because you have to look at Stephen Harper's record. And Guy Lauzon can't escape that. He has to defend that record. He's part of it. He didn't vote against any of these things. He supported them. So that's why I made the connection.
Now, you also spoke, not in your speech, but I was listening just before we came up here, about the British coalition led by the Conservatives.
Right.
Very similar to our own Conservatives.
Yeah, there was no hang-ups in Britain about the idea of coalition. I mean, Stephen Harper's trying to scare people. He's the same guy who 7 years ago sat down with Gilles Duceppe and Jack Layton to try and form a coalition then. So he's speaking out of both sides of his mouth, and I see there's a poll in the paper today saying a majority of Canadians support the idea of a coalition government, despite Stephen Harper's fear and smear tactics.
Now, you also in your speech talked about the impact of Mr. Harper's government while he's been a minority leader.
In what sense?
Well, for instance, the negative impact that he achieved while in power.
He has ruled virtually as a majority government, because now partly it's clever tactics on his part, because he knows nobody won an election for years, off and on, and though he forced one in 2006. So that gave him a lot of leeway. Plus, beyond just the legislative end of it, he rules like an almighty autocrat. And that has nothing to do with majority or minority. And he makes hardly any effort in the House of Commons to work with the others. It's his way or the highway. And imagine if he got a majority government, what our parliament would be like. So
what advice would you have for Mr. Leclerc on how to beat Mr. Lauzon in this riding, in this election?
Well, I recognize it's a tough campaign, because Mr. Lauzon's been in there for, 6 or 8 years now, and won by a big majority, but he has to get himself known. He was nominated a bit late compared to the other two, so he has to do that. He has a decent budget this time, but he's got to knock on doors, go out and campaign as much as he can. I'm really glad that he's taken time off so he can campaign full time, and that's a real asset.
All right, thank you very much.
Okay.